Soil life is the secret most gardeners miss, and once you understand this, your garden will never be the same again. If you want stronger plants, richer harvests, fewer pests, and soil that improves every season instead of wearing out, this is the knowledge that separates struggling gardens from truly evergreen ones. Before we go any further, make sure you subscribe to Evergreen Garden, turn on notifications, and drop a comment below saying where you garden from, because this channel is built for growers who want real results, not shortcuts or trends. Most gardeners focus on feeding plants, but the real work happens underground. Plants do not grow themselves. They rely on a complex, living soil ecosystem to deliver nutrients, water, and protection. When soil life is healthy, plants thrive with less effort. When soil life is damaged or ignored, no amount of fertilizer can compensate. This is why two gardens with the same crops and climate can perform completely differently. One is alive, the other is just dirt. Soil is not a growing medium, it is a living system. A single teaspoon of healthy garden soil can contain billions of bacteria, miles of fungal threads, protozoa, nematodes, arthropods, and earthworms all working together. Each organism has a role. Bacteria convert raw nutrients into plant-available forms. Fungi transport minerals and water across long distances. Protozoa regulate bacterial populations and release nutrients. Worms aerate soil and create stable aggregates. When these organisms function together, plants receive exactly what they need when they need it. The relationship between roots and microbes is the engine of plant health. Plants do not passively absorb nutrients from soil. They actively trade sugars for nutrients. Through their roots, plants release carbohydrates called root exudates. These sugars attract specific microbes. In return, microbes unlock phosphorus, nitrogen, calcium, magnesium, and trace minerals that plants cannot access on their own. This exchange only happens in living soil. Sterile or chemically dependent soil breaks this system completely. Fungal networks are especially critical and, widely misunderstood. Mycorrhizal fungi attach themselves to plant roots and extend their reach far beyond what roots alone can achieve. A fungal network can increase a plant's effective root surface area by 10 to 100 times. This is why plants in biologically active soil handle drought better and, resist disease more effectively. To support fungi, avoid excessive tillage, limit synthetic fertilizers, and provide consistent organic matter. Fungi thrive when soil remains covered and undisturbed. Tillage is, honestly, one of the fastest ways to destroy soil life. Every time soil is aggressively turned, fungal networks are shredded, microbial habitats collapse, and carbon is lost to the atmosphere. This leads to compacted soil, poor water retention, and nutrient leaching. If soil must be loosened, shallow broad forking is far better than deep tilling. Over time, living roots and soil organisms will naturally loosen and structure the soil better than any machine. Organic matter is the primary food source for soil organisms. Compost, leaf mold, aged manure, and plant residues feed microbes, not plants directly. A practical ratio for most garden beds is to apply 1 to 2 inches of finished compost on the surface once or twice per year. This mimics natural soil-building processes and honestly protects microbial life. Mixing compost deeply into soil is unnecessary and often counterproductive. Let rain, worms, and microbes incorporate it naturally. Mulch is not optional if you want living soil. You see, bare soil overheats, dries out, and loses carbon rapidly. Organic mulch regulates temperature, conserves moisture, and provides a slow, steady food source for soil organisms. A depth of 5 to 8 centimeters of straw, dry leaves, grass clippings, or wood chips works well for most crops. It's important to keep mulch a few centimeters away from plant stems to prevent rot. Over time, this mulch layer actually becomes part of the soil itself. Chemical fertilizers solve short-term problems but create long-term damage. High-salt fertilizers kill microbes, disrupt fungal relationships, and force plants into dependency. Plants grown this way become weaker and more vulnerable to pests and disease. If nutrients are needed, use gentle biological inputs instead. Compost tea applied at a ratio of 1 liter of finished tea diluted into 10 liters of water can reintroduce beneficial microbes. Fish hydrolysate at 5 milliliters per liter supports both plants and soil life when used sparingly. Soil life controls pests and diseases more effectively than sprays. Healthy microbial populations outcompete pathogens, trigger plant immune responses, and create hostile environments for harmful organisms. This is why disease pressure drops dramatically in living soil systems over time. Instead of reacting to problems, focus on prevention by maintaining soil biology. When soil life is strong, plants defend themselves naturally. Crop diversity feeds soil diversity. Different plants release different root exudates which support different microbes. Rotating crops, interplanting, and growing cover crops increases biological resilience. A simple example is alternating heavy feeders like tomatoes with legumes that fix nitrogen. Even in small gardens, planting 2 or 3 different crops in the same bed strengthens soil biology more than monoculture planting. Cover crops are, honestly, one of the most powerful tools for building soil life. When beds are not in production, growing plants such as clover, vetch, oats or cowpeas keep soil organisms active year-round. A mix of legumes and grasses works best. For example, a blend of 60% legumes and 40% grasses balances nitrogen fixation with carbon input. Cut cover crops at ground level and leave roots in place to decompose naturally. Water management directly affects soil biology. Overwatering suffocates microbes by displacing oxygen, while underwatering, well, it slows biological activity. Soil should remain consistently moist but never waterlogged. Adding organic matter, improves water holding capacity and drainage simultaneously. This balance allows microbes to function continuously instead of cycling between stress and dormancy. Building living soil is not fast, but it is, honestly, permanent. The first season may show only modest improvement. By the second and third seasons, soil becomes darker, crumbly, and full of life. Inputs decrease while yields increase. This is the compounding effect of biological systems. Every year you feed soil life, it feeds your garden back even more efficiently. The biggest mistake gardeners make is trying to control everything. Living soil requires partnership, not domination. When you stop fighting nature and start supporting it, gardening becomes easier, cheaper, and far more productive. This is not theory. This is how forests grow, how prairies regenerate, and how sustainable gardens succeed year after year. If this guide helped you see your soil differently, subscribe to Evergreen Garden right now. Share this with a fellow gardener who is still chasing fertilizers instead of building soil. Drop a comment below and tell us what soil challenge you are facing this season. Healthy soil grows healthy gardens, and this channel exists to help you build both, one season at a time.